Well, good morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Has been requested. So, bath, toilet fizzes. Bath? What am I talking about? Right, so here we only need, like, these. Is bicarbonate of soda. Sodium bicarbonate. I hope you can hear me. I've got a mask on because obviously I have health issues and because I'm using dust and essential oils. I thought I would pop it on. So, in this one we have citric acid. So how it works, it's always 2 to 1. So if, say you just want a few to start with, I always use cups. I don't use measuring. If you want to measure it, you can. And it's 8 ounces. Okay, so 1 cup is about 8 ounces. 8 grams, 8 ounces. Definitely ounces. Just get a cup, it's easier. And then half of that of citric acid. So what happens is the citric acid obviously is the acid, so that burns all the rubbish away. The bicarbonate of soda is a cleaner, so that acts as the cleaning agent, which is better than all these chemicals that you're buying at the shop. So then what you want to do, I mean, you can sift this, you know, bath bombs or shower steamers I would sift, but these I just break down as much as I can. Now, give that a little mix, okay. Now your fragrance, you don't have to have fragrance oil, alright. So this is where the mask comes in handy, because obviously if I sell one of these, that's not going to have any impact at all, but because I'm using it, they do come with different, like, do not inhale, etc. So you do have, what's the word? Protocol that you have to follow. But then, wherever you get your fragrance oils from, they should have on their website something that tells you about the product. So this is baby powder and it's Pure Life. With these though, bath bombs and soaps and things, because you have to have a special assessment, obviously these are going down the toilet and they're not touching your skin, so you don't. But if you was to sell them, then you would. You'd have to have a label that says that it's 10% or 2%. I wouldn't put 10% anyway, so because you don't need it. So I just put a few drops of this in, just to give it a little bit of fragrance, if it comes out. I'll just shake about 6, half a dozen will do. And even through the mask I can smell it. And this is baby powder, and it does smell like proper baby powder. You know, like Johnson's baby powder, it does really smell nice. And need some water, because I've got to get it out. What did I say? Ching, ching, ching. What did I do with it? You think you've got everything to hand and then you go, oh, no, I haven't actually. Oh, I found it, look. Hiding behind the wine bottle. Whatever next. So what you want to do is you just want to give it a few squirts. It's pretty much the same. So if you know how to make a bath, see if it's going down the toilet. Then you need to... Now it's up to you if you want to wear gloves. So if you've got little cuts, I would wear gloves because trust me, citric acid and cuts don't go well together. And I've done that so many times. I don't think I've got any cuts, so... Let's do a little bit powdery. So this is where it all gets, because you want it like wet sand or damp sand, not wet. I mean, some people do this, so they add the bicarbonate and the fragrance oil and oils if you're making shower steamers, or you shouldn't need oil in shower steamers, or cornstarch, flour, etc. wherever you are in the world. And then they add the citric acid after. So this is pretty much okay. I'm going to give it a little bit more because I'm going to do one. You might not have silicone moulds, you might not have bath bomb moulds. If you don't, you can do it where you just crumble it so it's all nice and look crumbly. So make sure it's like damp sand, like that. Can you see? And then dry it. Just leave it to dry and then put it in bags. You don't have to mould it if you don't want to. You can just use it as literally broken up and then just shove some down the toilet. So then you put that in there. Not too tight, or you never get it out, trust me. And how do I know that? Because I've done it. So this is I mean, depending what your system's like, you can just get this and just hide a whole lot in. But I wouldn't go no bigger than this mould. Just in case it gets stuck. Now I'm hoping this will do the trick. Does anyone else make such a mess? I'd like to thank all you guys for subscribing and liking and commenting. If you sent me an email, I will respond. Trust me. Voila. I make these at Christmas time. The snowballs. You know what they say about yellow? Snow. So what I do is I put yellow powder in the middle. So just let that dry out. And then I have silicone paints. I mean, depending where you are in the world, on your humidity, because you wouldn't think that humidity would play a part, but trust me, it does. I mean, I watch loads of YouTube videos on making bath bombs, making this, making that, and you know, hands up that they're like giving you information, but they're not always forthcoming with the right information that you actually need. So you'll probably go, oh, that sounds that easy. Rip some up and sell them. But it's not as simple as that. Do your research, guys. You know, because if you do shower steamers, toilet fizzers, wax melts, anything that doesn't touch your skin, you don't have to have an assessment. But soaps, bath bombs, you know, that like creams, etc., moisturizers, you will have to have an assessment. It is better to start off with something where you don't need an assessment. So say do these, you know, because you can just chuck them in the toilet, so you can play around with them. So you can do your own thing, you know, and then when you get a bit more comfortable, or shower steamers. Just pop one on the side of the shower. And then when you're more comfortable, I think these are CLP labels, these are. I've just made some Hoover discs, fragrance Hoover discs. But that is some oil that I cannot for the life of me pronounce. Oreo. Sounds like Oreo, but with an A. That's the way I say Origo, Origo. And that's 25% fragrance oil. So that would actually be a different. As I say, if you go to the fragrance part where you've ordered it from, it should have all this information on there. You know, check out its insurance as well, because you'll always get that one that something will happen to. You know, there's always. This is about it. So look, it's pretty easy. I haven't like flattened them all off because pretty much they're just going down the toilet. Right, lucky for me, I didn't have no cuts. So what I'll do is I'll turn that every so often. You know, see how nice and white that is. Yeah, just tap the side. Or if it's hard to get out, you've got these moulds, just sort of gently tap it with a spoon. Don't whack it like that as you dent it like that. And then these. Yeah, that's pretty much all of it. So it's 1 cup, which is 8 ounces of bicarbonate, half a cup of citric acid, which will be 4 ounces. Obviously a fragrance, a few drops of fragrance of your choice. And the best way to get some, like, this is just plain water. So people go, oh, witch hazel and this. You know, but I find it water, it's free, and well, it's not free because you have to pay water here. But do you know what I mean? You haven't got another overhead to pay out for. And it does the trick. So what I'll do is I'll pause the video, and then when these are all nice and hard, I'll demold them for you guys. But, you know, any questions or anything you want to see me make, or just leave a comment. And I will get back to you. See, look, these are my little Hoover discs. Obviously, I've got one now in my Hoover, the Dragon's Blood. I know it sounds awful, doesn't it? You think, Dragon's Blood? What on earth does that smell like? But I had to try it because I'm quite witchy as well, you know, spiritual. And it smells really nice and juicy. That's the only way I can describe it. So I've got one of these that I'm testing out. I'm going to be doing that labels hopefully later. That's on my to-do list. Then do a video on how to make them. But I just want to make sure I get the right labels or the right CLP label for it. I mean, obviously, if you're going to make them yourself, you'll put your own product label on it. And I'll get back to you when this is dry. I'll see you soon.